Welcome to detailsin.com tutorial. My name is Joseph Ranjan. I am going to show you how to create a CAPTCHA in your PHP application. This article was already written in my website, which you can see in the screen right now, php.detailsin.com. Create CAPTCHA in your PHP application. You can grab code and you can play around with it in the way you want. So now I am going to show you guys how to do that in step by step. So before doing all the stuff one by one, I just want you guys to have a look at what we are going to actually generate in the screen. The one what you're seeing in your screen right now is the output, which is what the captcha that I'm just going to teach you guys how to do that step by step. So I have a form here which asks me to enter my name Joseph, and there is a column asking me to enter the number that I am seeing in the image left side. So this feature is what we call as CAPTCHA. As you guys are aware of, this is to prevent the spam bots or whatever the script that was trying to abuse our form. So this is a very simple CAPTCHA that I have implemented here. So you can see the action right here. So I am not entering anything and I'm submitting my data. I'm getting an error called you have not entered CAPTCHA. I'm going to enter some wrong CAPTCHA right now and I'm going to submit the form again and I'm getting sorry incorrect CAPTCHA entered. Now let me enter the proper one and you will be able to see the actual action of this form. So this is what we are going to implement in this tutorial. So what I am actually going to do is I'm going to have a form which actually you guys see in the screen, where I'm going to have a CAPTCHA section which is going to get built on top of GD library concept in PHP. Probably if you guys spend some time in PHP, you must have heard of it. With that GD functions, you can create an image or you can play around with it in the way that you want. So that's what I'm going to do now to generate a CAPTCHA for our application. So let us go step by step. So I'm having my localhost activated right now, where I'm having a folder called CAPTCHA. So let me execute that, where I have a file called myform.php where you can see nothing right there. So let us get started. I'm going to have a form in this page where I am going to implement CAPTCHA. So let me create the form right now. Let me create the basic page. CAPTCHA, end of title, end of head, beginning of body, and let me go ahead and finish the structure first. The basic HTML page has been created. Now let me create my form inside that. Form action equal to the same page, my form.php, and let the method be post. So inside my form, I'm just going to have only one sample control. Input type text, name txt name, and let me give a placeholder called enter your name. Let me take some breakpoints here and let us have a submit button. Input type submit, submit, submit form. So I have created a simple form here which we can execute and see. So this is a basic form that you can relate with your application form, which actually submits the information to the same page where we can do the further action with whatever the information being submitted. So now, to prevent this form from getting attacked by the automated scripts or something, so what we are going to do is we are going to add a captcha in between this uh, button and the text box. So let me do that here. I'm going to make two more breaks so I can insert a captcha field right here. So captcha is a set of image and a text box which asks for the user input. So I have created an image and I said src is empty as of now, and also I am gonna give some space between this, and I'm going to create one more input text. So I'm going to call it as txt captcha. I'm going to give a placeholder called enter numbers. So let us see the output. Now you can see the form controls, and then there was a image which was not been shown because we didn't map it to any proper image. We'll do that very soon. And there is a placeholder where user can enter the characters or numbers, whatever it is that has to be entered by the user manually. So let we have created our form structure. Now what we are going to do is we need actually a image background for this captcha. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to google images.google.com. I'm going to find a background for my, okay, I have a keyword background for captcha. I felt this one seems to be pretty much comfortable, so I'm gonna save this image in my desktop. I'm gonna call it as capture.jpg. Save. I need that image inside my captcha folder, so let me move it. Copy this image. Let me go to my captcha folder. Let me paste it here. So I have an image which I can show in the captcha section, but you can see this image is just a background image where on top of that we need to generate some random numbers, so that user, for every user there will be a random number which the user has to enter to proceed to the form action. So I'm going to create one more file here. Let me replicate the same file, and I'm going to call the file as captcha.php. Let us open this file, and let me clean this file. And I'm going to have here a script which actually pulls the image and convert and write some random text on top of that and show it into that page. So let us see how to do that. uh, so now the concept is actually when the user submits the form, the user entry of captcha also has to get along submitted, and then it has to be checked against the captcha which was actually generated for that user. So we need to track that captcha text which we are generating. So obviously we need to have session activated in both the pages so that we can track some information between these pages. So I'm going to say session underscore start, and I'm going to use the same function in here as well. So the first step is going to be generate random numbers. Let's generate random numbers in this example, but probably you can generate a mixture of numbers and string, whatever that you want in your application. So let me create a random number. I just wanted the number to be of just 3 digit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use rand function in PHP, which can do that for me. I'm going to say I need a random number between 1 and 9, and I'm going to tell that 3 times, so I will be getting three random numbers generated. So I'll be getting a 3-digit random number right here. Now the second step is we need to write this random number into session so that that can be tracked in our form page. So let me do that. So I'm going to create a session variable here called captcha text, and I'm going to store this random number into that. Alright, we have done with generating a random number and keeping it in the session. The next step is to write this random number on top of that image and display it to the user. So create image with random number. So we have a background image in the same folder called captcha.jpg. We are going to create a virtual image on top of that. So what you are going to do is captcha image equal to image create from JPEG. The file name, since the file is in the same folder, I'm going to just directly give the file name captcha.jpg. So this actually creates a virtual image and keeps in the variable captcha image. So the next step is to write the text on top of that. The function for that is image string. So this requires the virtual image variable, and then the font. Actually we can use our custom fonts inside that. Probably to stylish this captcha, people uh, integrate different fonts and mention here. Now for this simple example, I'm just going to use the inbuilt fonts where you can use the numbers between 1 to 5. 5 is the bigger font, so I just need the bigger one. So where the string has to appear in the image, that's what being handled by the next two. From x coordinate and y coordinate, where does it has to appear. So for right now let me put something 20 and 10, and based on the image appearance that you can modify these figures and you can arrange it properly in the location that you want. So what has to be displayed has to be mentioned in this location, which is our random number. And the last attribute is color. The color, how we can create is, let me create a color right here. Font color, image color, allocate the captcha image, and the amount of red green blue mix. So I'm just going to say let all be 0, so I will be getting black as output. I just want my font to be black, so I'm using 000, and you can mix according to that to get the desired color that you want. So I have mentioned the variable in the last. That's it, simple. So let me create image right here. This is the line actually creates the image from the configuration we does above. And since it's a virtual image, it's better to destroy right here itself, so it will be available temporarily only for that request and not kept in the server and takes up the space. So you can use the function image destroy capture image. That's it. We have the capture.php ready, and in myform.php, in the imgsrc where we have left it empty, let us call this php page. So capture.php. Let me save that. Let me get back to my form, and alright, it just got generated 287 this time. and whenever I refresh, you can see that numbers are keep getting changed. This is very simple example. In the program that you do, what you can do is you can add some very style fonts which actually improve the appearance of this, which actually helps the application to look very rich. Okay, let us continue with the functionality right now. So the captcha is being generated and it's being stored in the session. Now what has to happen when the form is being submitted? That's what we are going to write here. So I'm going to say if I'm just checking if the form is being submitted, is set of dollar underscore post. I hope the people, uh, I mean, you guys can understand what I'm doing because this is basic PHP stuff. So what I'm trying to check is if there is a value being set on post variable called text name, which actually does means the form is being submitted. The post of txt name gets value when actually this form is being submitted, since we are using the method called post. So if the form is being submitted, what has to be done? We have to check whether the captcha is being very correct or not. So I'm going to check if the user has entered the captcha or not. A set of post txt name has already checked. So txt captcha is being set, and txt captcha is being not equal to empty, then do captcha check. Else let us set a variable called dollar error right here. Let us call it as, let us say, um, capture missing. Let me highlight it with red font so it is easy for us to see in the screen. Okay, so if the user submits the form and the captcha is being set, I mean if the captcha is was written by the user, then obviously the checking part will work. In case if the user missed the captcha, obviously you'll be getting a message called captcha missing. So let us check right now. What we need to check is if the session value of that captcha and this captcha whatever that we are receiving is equal or not. So I'm going to check dollar underscore session of txt. Okay, the session variable what we have used here is captcha text. So if the session value of captcha text is equal to post of, if that is equal to the value which user entered in the form, then do the action, else throw the error message. I'm going to show error message captcha incorrect. I'm going to again highlight this with red font. In case if the captcha is correct, let us echo the username is successfully processed, and let us end the action. So before the form, let us check for error message. If is set dollar error. So what I'm going to do is I'm just checking if the error variable is being set. If yes, just show the error on top of all. That's it. This should do whatever that we are looking for. So let me enter my name, Joseph. Now I'm not going to enter any numbers here. So it's telling me CAPTCHA, you have not entered CAPTCHA. So I'm going to enter my name again, and I'm going to enter some incorrect values right here. So it's telling me the CAPTCHA is incorrect. So let me again type my name, and let me type the right CAPTCHA 783. So it processed the request. So obviously the form is being worked only when I enter the CAPTCHA correct. So the manually, I mean the automated scripts or bots cannot bypass this form as long as we have this as an image. Thank you for this watching this tutorial.